And to get more details on the industry, we had a discussion with Kamlesh Barot, who is the president of Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Association of India.
We are celebrating 65 years of independence. It's a very young and vibrant economy in terms of domestic consumption, everything. As far as the tourism or hospitality industry is concerned, is the biggest employer in the sector. We have employed so many millions of people. At what stage we are into, and what type of employment we can provide to the sector?
In this 12th five-year plan that we've just started from April 2012,
Right.
the emphasis of employment generating capacity of
Right.
this tourism industry has been highlighted in 5 pages that have been dedicated only to this industry. We are close to 24 million jobs that have already entered this sector. In the next 5 years up to 2016, there is a capacity of employing 44 million more
Right.
people. And the aspect about the pro-poor aspect of this tourism on employment generation is something which the Prime Minister has been appraised, the
Right.
Finance Minister has been appraised by our Tourism
Right.
Minister Subodh Kansahai. His outlook is that if today we are getting 6.29 million tourists from
Right.
abroad, and we are able to generate about 11.2 billion US dollars coming only as foreign exchange
Right.
to this country, we have close to about 1,21,000 rooms only
Right.
to accommodate so many more tourists as
Right.
to touch a figure of about 11.2 billion
Right.
in the coming 5 years.
Right.
We will require close to 1,81,000 rooms in
Right.
the organized sector, about 25 lakh rooms in the unorganized sector.
Right.
Now, as you understand, each of these rooms require at least an average of about 1.5 to 2 employees.
Right.
So if we are looking at 26, 27 lakh rooms coming up in the
Right.
next 5 years, each of these would require to the tune of about 44 million more
Right.
people. If today the main challenge of America and the Eurozone countries is employment, and because of recession they are not able to provide employment, this is the industry that can absorb 44 million people.
Right.
And that too, we don't require graduates, engineers.
Right.
We can take basic level trained,
Right.
skilled, semi-skilled staff, and therefore
We
it
can
becomes,
skill them afterwards.
in on the job.
We can
So
train them.
Hunar Se Rozgar scheme is a scheme which has been
Right.
promoted by the government.
Right.
And the target given to us was about 5,500 odd people to be trained. We trained more than 9,628 in the last year. Now the requirement of the industry is about 2 lakh employees
Right.
to be taken in every year.
Right.
We are only able to generate a trained manpower of 27,000 people only, which is a statement given by the tourism minister himself.
So as you mentioned about the 6.29 million tourists we got in last year, and we have a huge demographic advantage. We have huge advantage. We have the festivals, we have everything, heritage tourism. But compared to the other Asian countries like China and Malaysia, are we enough competent in attracting tourism? And what are the policies or the strategies we should adopt? Employment is first one. It is for the welfare of the people. What are the other strategies one should adopt?
Unfortunately, the neighboring countries that we have, for an example, China has about 55 million tourists coming, while we are not even at 6 million. And when the tourism minister is giving a target, after 5 years you touch 11 million, we're still nowhere close to there also. The problem that this industry is facing in creating these many hotel rooms is one of infrastructure, because we don't have that status of creating infrastructure. If tomorrow you were to go out and look for a place to eat,
Right.
hotel and restaurants is the industry that you'd look at. If you're getting out of your city to work anywhere else, you would look for a hotel room to stay. You can't stay in a friend's place. So that's an infrastructure that this industry is
Right.
providing to the country.
Right.
We have demanded an infrastructure status in the budget. Unfortunately, the government said only 5% of your hotels will be given this. 95% of the hotels, if they are located in cities which are not in any metros, but more than 1 million population is there, we'll only give you status, which is a no-brainer. So we are asking the government to remove this anomaly.
Right.
There is double taxation in our
Right.
industry. If you go to eat out and you ask for a bill, you are charged 12% as
Right.
VAT. You're charged 12% as service tax. Now, when 25% of your entire bill for a 100 rupee thing that you're eating,
Right.
if 25 is to be paid to the government, you
Right.
can very well understand that how much of an anti-tourism drive we are putting
Right.
into our industry.
How government is reacting? Because of course this is the demand made by your organization also in terms as far as the taxation is concerned. Secondly, sir, you mentioned about the power infrastructure. These are all interrelated sectors. If you have better power, you have better infrastructure, roads, the tourism will be get a different boost altogether. What is the reaction from the government as far as the taxation is concerned?
For at least this change in the guard that has happened at the finance ministry, we are a bit optimistic that we might be able to get heard. Because for the past 3 budgets, the only word we had heard about tourism in the budget was itna taxes बढ़ रहा है. Now that was something which we were always dreading to find out, that if the government gives any sort of incentive to this industry, we are today touching 740 million domestic tourists who are either going on pilgrimage, or they are going to meet friends or socializing or anything related to business or leisure. 75% of the business comes from leisure only. Business is only 25% that we cater to. If at all we are given this impetus by the government that, well, you can today make these 1,28,000 rooms that are required for the industry, we would be the first one to bring in that much investment, because it's a 100% FDI compliant place. We were able to get at least 10,000 crores of FDI into this industry from 2001 to 2008. So the government has to look at this industry as an employment generator, a foreign exchange earner, and an infrastructure developer. If this is the outlook that the government has at the center, I'm sure each state will also look up to this activity of tourism as increasing governmental growth. The GDP has today a contribution of about 6% coming only from tourism. The entire population that we have in India, we employ close to 9.26% of the employables. So every person that you would see in 2016 out of 12 who's employable, one would be in the hotel and restaurant segment.
Sir, employment is the first part, infrastructure is second, taxation is the first. But to present to the world, to the globe village, that India is the best destination as far as the tourism is concerned, what according to you the salient feature or the strategies should be?
What we have done as an association is we've interacted with the Ministry of Tourism and created a full FHRAI, which we call is the classification norm, to find out if a property can be given a 1-star or a 2-star or a 5-star. Now those norms have incorporated handicap friendly rooms, they have incorporated environment friendly initiatives, they have taken a pledge from the entire hotel industry to say that all our properties will be safe and honorable, which means if there is any abuse of a child or a woman, as an industry we stand to pledge that we won't promote this. Just last month we took a pledge from the industry that we will be running a Clean India campaign in the entire country, and therefore one of our hotel properties have also incorporated the Qutub Minar as its clean and campaign to look after that monument. We are today promoting that as a feature for all our hotel members, where they can adopt monuments in their location and drive tourism towards it. So it's a responsible sector that we are into.
Definitely, sir. We have wanted to project the India as a hotel's destination for the global, to attract more and more tourists, is the best employment generator also. And we wish that the coming years also India will definitely attract more and more tourists, more and more investment, and more employment. Everything. Thanks a lot for joining us on Business.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
That was Mr. Kamlesh Barot joining.
And private equity funds jointly managed by India's top lender, State Bank of India, and Australia's Macquarie Group have to agree to invest $150 million in a unit of infrastructure firm Ashoka Buildcon, sending the road builder shares up by as much as 11.3% in early trading. Poor infrastructure acts as a brake on India's economic growth, which slowed 5.3% in the March quarter, the weakest annual pace in 9 years. And before we end, let's take a look at the headlines once again.